Okay, this video is to explain how to do an SBT engine exchange. If you want to buy a rebuilt engine, this one is a Kawasaki 750. This is the big pin. So this is what you're going to receive. This is the 1-year warranty engine. So you're going to receive this engine. Now they're asking you when you go to order that on the big pin, 20 millimeters is the diameter of the crankshaft on the PTO side. So that's one thing they ask, to make sure you're getting the big pin, not the small pin. The other thing they're asking is there's 12 studs on the intake side on a big pin. On a small pin, it does not have these two in the middle, so you would have 10 studs. Now this is the 1-year warranty one, and they put a sticker on there. So that's for your warranty for this engine. They also put this, some sort of tamper resistant type thing. So as long as you don't open the engine, you have 1 year coverage with your warranty. Now I also ordered a gasket set. This does not come with the 1-year warranty one. I ordered the break-in oil. So if you order the 2-year one, at this point in time, the 1-year warranty is $985. If you buy a 2-year warranty one, it's $1,495, and you would get this gasket set and your break-in oil and a 2nd-year warranty on it. So I just did the 1-year warranty. So part of the reason why I'm doing this video is to explain what you're going to get and how to get your engine ready. So this is the engine that I'm sending back. So you remove, after you pull your engine out, you remove the 10 millimeter bolts on the stator cover. You're going to pull the stator cover off, and you want to keep track of your woodruff key, the spring, the washer. You want to inspect the bendix. On this one, there was pieces of the bendix that had come apart. You're going to remove the flywheel. When you remove the flywheel, one way to do it is go to Ace Hardware and get an 18 millimeter, I think it's 1.5, it's fine thread, and you just bolt that in the middle. After you remove the bolt on the end of the crankshaft, remove that bolt, thread this bolt to pull it, and hold that with a crescent wrench. I did order this puller, and unfortunately I already had the bolt. I was hoping that this would be 18 millimeter threads and would work on there, but whoever made it didn't take that into account. So anyways, this one you could use on other engines, but doesn't do you any good on a 750. 750, all you need is that bolt. So on the engine that you're sending back, you're going to want to remove your intake manifold. You're going to want to remove your reeds. All of this hardware, none of that is on your engine, so you're going to need that to put it back together. So basically, the acorn nuts are going to stay on the engine that you're returning. You're going to want this cooling hose, flush fitting brass piece. You want to keep that. You're going to want to take this off. You're going to want to take your flywheel off. You're going to want the bolt. They do include a woodruff key. It's taped to the crankshaft. You also want to remove the PTO coupler while the engine is still together. A lot of times you put a rope down the spark plug hole, and I get a piece of hardwood or possibly a pry bar, and sometimes it takes a little heat, and remove the coupler. This one usually just comes off with a 14 millimeter impact. So in the gasket set, it has this rubber O-ring. You want to put that back on your stator. Gonna keep your flywheel. All of these studs you have to remove. So you're gonna put two 10 millimeter or whichever size. Some of these are probably 12. You're gonna double them up, and you're gonna remove all of these studs. Because if you send your engine off and you forgot to remove those studs, you're gonna have to buy new ones, because there's no studs for the exhaust. And on the intake side, just the 10 millimeter nuts. You also want to make sure that you don't have a hole in your block. If your block has a hole in it, I don't think they're going to accept it as a core. And I think they give you 2 weeks to return your core. After that, they charge you $100 a week. And looking at the bill, looks like they're going to bill you $1,500 for the core, possibly. So make sure you have a good core ready to go and put it right back in the same box. They're going to provide you with the shipping label. The return shipping label is in the package. There's an owner's manual. There's some QR codes in there that could help you possibly with setting it up, tearing the engine apart, the break-in process. So I picked up, it's supposed to be kind of a universal puller. I also picked up the blue medium Loctite. On two-stroke engines, two strokes vibrate quite a bit. Also, when you're out there bouncing around on the waves, you don't want these bolts, these nuts and bolts backing out. Also, when you have two different kinds of metal, helps prevent corrosion. So you notice from the factory, Kawasaki had this green thread locker on there. So it helps prevent corrosion, helps prevent them from backing out. Sometimes if they're tough to get out, you can use a little torch. I just have like a kitchen torch, creme brulee torch, cooking torch, whatever you want to call it. And that can warm it up, or you could probably use a heat gun and it'll warm up the thread locker and melt it. So hang on to your stator. They want the crankshaft. They don't care about that PTO coupler. You could buy a new one if you're having a problem getting it off. You definitely want your flywheel. Apparently they want the pistons. So maybe they want to inspect the damage, see what happened. A lot of times when you have one of these engines, if you're looking at buying a used one, take a look up in the exhaust. See if it's scored. If it's damaged like this, you're going to want to at least do a top end. On this one, you inspect the bearings, and the bearings were pretty crunchy. So tear your engine apart, see what you got. This one, the Bendix, was also bad because there was little pieces around the flywheel. So you definitely don't want to put the old Bendix back if it's damaged. So that's also, when you have these out, a lot of people like to block off the case drain. You can get a kit. It's probably less than 20 bucks, and it seals it up so it doesn't leak. You don't have an air leak. You don't want an air leak on a two-stroke. A lot of people delete the oil pump. There's another, all it is a little piece of metal, aluminum. Same thing, you remove these studs, you double nut them, back out the studs. The kit comes with the block off plate. You also want to use the caps to block off where the oil was getting injected into either the intake manifold or the carburetor, depending on which year. So you might as well do that while you have it out. Block off the case drain. If you're going to pre-mix it, block off the, remove the oil injection pump, block off that front case, cap off where the oil goes in, because the critical thing with two strokes, you do not want air leaks.